For 4 days, smoke rose from the chimney of a farmhouse in rural Bavaria. The cattle were fed. The dog was still chained and alive. Inside, 6 people were dead. Someone had killed them, and then stayed, fed the livestock, ate meals in the kitchen, slept in the house. For days, while the bodies lay in the barn under a pile of hay. No one came to check. Hinterkaifeck was a small farmstead between Ingolstadt and Schrobenhausen, in a stretch of flat Bavarian countryside where the nearest neighbour lived a kilometre away. No telephone, no electricity. One muddy path in, the same path out. The farm belonged to Andreas Gruber. He was 63, hard-tempered, and locally despised. In 1915, he had been convicted of incest, the abuse of his own daughter, Victoria. He served a year. When he came back, nothing changed. Victoria remained. By 1922, Victoria was 35. A widow, her husband Karl had died in the Great War. She had 2 children, Cecilia, 7, Joseph, 2. Joseph's father was almost certainly Andreas. Victoria's mother, also Cecilia, 72, still lived on the farm. There was nowhere else to go. 6 people, 3 generations, bound by geography and poverty, and a fact that everyone in the village already knew. In the days before the end, Andreas told a neighbour he'd found something strange. Footprints in the snow. They led from the edge of the forest to the farmhouse. None led back. He also found a newspaper on the property that no one in the family had bought. He heard sounds above the ceiling at night. He found a set of keys that belonged to no one. He told a neighbour. He did not call police. 6 months earlier, the family's maid had quit. Crescens Rieger told people the farm was haunted. She left and survived. On March 31st, 1922, her replacement arrived. Maria Baumgartner, 44, her first day at Hinterkaifeck, her last day anywhere. The killer used a mattock, a Reutauer, a heavy agricultural pickaxe, not a weapon designed to kill, a farm tool, the kind of thing you'd find in any barn in Bavaria. Andreas was struck first, in the barn, then Victoria, then old Cecilia, each lured or brought there, one at a time. Then the child. 7-year-old Cecilia did not die immediately. The forensic evidence suggests she lived for hours after the attack. When they examined her body, they found she had torn clumps of hair from her own head. The 4 barn victims were stacked and covered with hay. The killer entered the house. Maria Baumgartner was killed in her bed on her first night. Joseph was killed in his crib. Then, nothing happened. Or rather, everything continued. The killer did not leave. For 3 to 4 days, someone lived at Hinterkaifeck. The cattle were fed and watered. Food was eaten in the kitchen. The stove was maintained. Neighbours could see the smoke. The dog remained chained, alive, unharmed. What kind of person does this? Not the killing, the staying, the routine among 6 bodies, the feeding of animals that belong to people you've just beaten to death with a farm tool. The violence is horrifying. The aftermath is something else entirely. The family was found on April 4th. Children had missed school. Mail had piled up. Neighbours finally walked over. Lorenz Schlittenbauer led the group. He'd been involved with Victoria. He once claimed Joseph was his son. He entered the barn with 2 other men and found the bodies under the hay. Then 20 neighbours walked through the property before police arrived. They moved objects. They trampled every surface where a footprint might have mattered. The crime scene was unsalvageable. Over 100 suspects were examined across the next century. The strongest lead remained Schlittenbauer. He had motive, proximity, and knowledge of the farm. And on the day the bodies were found, he walked directly to the barn, not the house, as if he already knew. Other theories never held. Carl Gabriel's wartime death is confirmed. A vagrant would not know how to tend the Gruber's livestock and would not stay for days in a house they'd never entered. The staying narrows the field. It points to someone who knew the farm, who felt entitled to be there. In 2007, the Munich Police Academy reopened the case as a forensic exercise. Their conclusion pointed to Schlittenbauer, but it was academic. No evidence survived to prove it. After the initial investigation, the skulls of the 6 victims were sent to Munich for analysis. During the Second World War, they were lost. Destroyed, misplaced, or discarded, no record survives. The farm was demolished in the late 1920s. A marker stands at the site. Nothing else. 100 years have passed. The case has been reopened 4 times. Each investigation had less to work with than the one before. Hinterkaifeck is not a mystery because the truth is unknowable. It is a mystery because the truth was destroyable. And it was destroyed.